They came with a fleet, not for conquest, but for a single man. A deserter who knew too much, and he was waiting. Eric Vance watched the armada spread across the monitors. He had been preparing for this day since he first ran, 1,000,000,000 credits on his head. Every empire wanted him dead or alive. He didn't move.
Vance, 3 years I've hunted you. Come out now and I'll make it fast. You have my word.
Your word means nothing, Kale. Besides, I wasn't going to let you have all the fun. I sent out invitations.
A signal burst from the hideout, a beacon that screamed across every military channel. Ships changed course.
You insane fool. You'll drown this moon in fire. Every fleet in the sector will be here in minutes.
Let them come. Let them tear each other apart over my corpse. Maybe then they'll see the truth.
From a worn toolkit, he retrieved a data chip. It contained everything they were afraid of. He sealed it away. The first vessel landed, its landing gear stirring lunar dust. The hunt was now a spectacle. Eric sat back, calm. The outer hatch blew inward with a deafening crack. Kale's hunters spilled through smoke and emergency lights.
3 years. Vance, every bounty hunter in the sector has bled for this. Get him up.
You think this is about credits? You don't even know what's buried on the Nexus. None of you do.
Outside, a human military shuttle descended, heavy and fast. The planet Earth was painted on its hull.
Kale, Earth jurisdiction supersedes bounty claims. Release him to my custody, now.
You are making a mistake, Commander. He'll poison your crew before this is over.
I'll risk it. He's ours now. Step aside.
Eric was hauled aboard the human ship, his wrists bound, his expression unreadable.
You think you've just captured a criminal, but in a few hours, you'll beg to hear what I know.
Save it. You are a mass deserter and a tech thief. I don't bargain with traitors.
The interrogation room was bare steel. Rena sat opposite, a file of atrocities open between them.
Eric Vance, desertion from the Battle of Hades, selling classified tech to the Krell, the destruction of the vessel Katera, all casualties pinned on you.
All fabricated. Every charge. I never sold anything. I ran because Thorn was about to execute me for refusing his orders.
Thorn, Admiral Thorn. You expect me to believe the architect of humanity's defense would frame a nobody?
Check file Nexus Gamma. It's all in there. He was building a weapon, an ancient device on asteroid 7K91. I sabotaged it to stop him.
Rena's expression flickered. She opened a secure terminal, fingers moving with practiced speed. The coordinates existed. A classified anomaly.
This can't be right. Everything that matches is blacklisted. Admiral Thorn, I have the deserter. He claims connection to an unsanctioned project at coordinates I am transmitting now.
That man is a traitor and a liar. His mind is warped. Silence him, Commander. No trial. That's an order.
An order to murder a prisoner? He's lying. But why? What's he hiding?
The situation escalated. Alien fleets converged, demanding Vance's extradition. Outside, a standoff brewed. She had to know the truth. A retrieval team returned from the hideout with the data chip. Rena plugged the chip into her tablet. Classified files spilled across the screen, each more damning than the last.
Quantum destabilization. Human test subjects. Thorn's authorization codes. He's been building a bomb. Eric wasn't lying. And I was an order away from executing an innocent man. You were a lead researcher, not just a soldier. What else aren't you telling me?
I designed the interface. When I ran, I altered my DNA. Only my biology can shut it down. The sabotage won't hold. In hours, it'll breach. If I don't reach it soon, millions will die.
Then we're getting you out tonight. No more blood on my hands. It's treason, but I've followed orders my entire career. Time I followed the truth.
The alien standoff erupted. Rena used the chaos to slip Eric out of his cell.
grab weapons and hit the shuttle before he realizes you are missing.
I don't need a weapon. Just get me to the asteroid in time.
They reached the shuttle bay. Rena hot-wired the controls while Eric sealed the hatch.
The prisoner is escaping. All hunters, pursue immediately. Cut them off before the jump point.
The shuttle rocketed from the lunar surface, Kale's ship igniting seconds behind.
We have less than 6 hours. The Nexus will rupture if I am not there to stabilize it. I rigged the failsafe to trigger a cascade. It bought time, but it's eating itself now.
A sleek hunter vessel materialized on their tail, Kale's voice cutting through the comms.
You can't run, Vance. I'll collect that bounty and your corpse.
Rena dived the shuttle into a debris field, weaving until Kale's ship veered off. They skimmed over a spire and landed. The structure loomed, dead but humming.
We go inside. The entrance is bio-coded. My DNA will let us in.
Inside, the air was stale. Blue crystals lined the walls. Pulsing eerily, they crept forward.
Don't touch anything. The floor plates are pressure sensitive. Follow my steps exactly.
Halfway down, a misstep triggered a hum. A light beam sliced the corridor, just missing them.
What the hell? Ancient security system still active after thousands of years.
They emerged into a vast chamber. At its center, a crystalline device pulsed violently. Eric crossed to a panel. His hands touched it, and the device groaned in response.
The containment field is dying. I can hold it, but not long. Make your move fast.
Kale appeared at the chamber entrance, plasma blade drawn. His hunters fanned out behind him.
You should have stayed dead, Vance. But now you'll power this machine for me, and I'll collect the bounty twice.
You don't understand. This isn't a weapon. It's a cage. If you force it open, it will destroy everything.
He's not lying, Kale. You want to be rich, not extinct. Stand down.
Kale laughed and signaled his men. The room lit with gunfire. Rena threw herself behind a pillar. Eric's fingers flew across the panel. Ancient defenses awakened, beams slicing between the hunters. A plasma bolt caught Rena in the side. She dropped, but kept her weapon raised.
Rena, stay with me.
You've only delayed me. I'll find another way in, and when I do, you'll both burn.
Forget me. Finish the seal. I'll hold them off.
The Nexus detected massive energy signatures. Dozens of ships dropped out of jump. Thorn's fleet at their head.
Commander Harrow, you've betrayed your oath. Surrender the deserter and the Nexus, or be destroyed. He's too late. I am sending the truth on every channel. Let the galaxy see what he's done.
He uploaded the files, experiments, orders, his own research logs. The Nexus broadcast them across the system. Some alien ships turned their weapons on Thorn's fleet. Others held, uncertain. A three-way standoff crystallized.
You dare slander me? I'll tear that asteroid apart, atom by atom, if I have to. All ships, open fire.
Energy volleys lit the dark like a collapsing star. The chamber shuddered with the impacts.
They'll breach the hull. Whatever you are doing, do it faster.
Almost there. Reinitializing lockdown. Just need a few more minutes.
Outside, ships burned. Inside, Eric's fingers moved with desperate precision. The fate of millions hanging on a countdown. As the shutdown command executed, the core erupted with light. A hologram formed, a tall ancient alien, its expression mournful. You have damaged a sacred prison. The shade that walks stirs. This machine was not a weapon. It was a cage. Through the crystal, black tendrils uncoiled. A massive eye opened, dripping malice.
A cage. I sabotaged the only thing holding that back.
The lock must be resealed by a living sacrifice. Only a resonance match will suffice.
I engineered my DNA to interface. That means I am the match.
The entity screamed, soundless but psychic, shaking the chamber. The barrier fractured.
I came to fix a mistake, but the The mistake is me.
Rena, bleeding on the floor, looked at Eric. She saw the horror in his eyes.
I have to give myself over. It's the only way to seal it again. It always ends like this. I ran to save my life, and now to save everyone. I have to lose it.
The chamber doors cycled. Admiral Thorne strode in with a squad, their weapons hot and leveled.
So the rat has found its hole. Step away from the console. The Nexus is now property of the Terran Admiralty. You still think you can control it? Look at the crystal, Thorne. Look what you almost unleashed.
As if sensing the Admiral's ambition, the entity sent a tremor through the floor. A psychic whisper slithered into every mind.
Stop. The bounty is mine. I tracked him across 3 sectors. No one takes my prize.
Stand down, Hunter. This man's life belongs to the state. Interfere, and I'll add your head to the charges. They're still fighting over a corpse. They don't understand that we're all already dead unless I do this.
The entity's whispers grew louder. It offered power, freedom, anything to break its bonds. Eric clenched his jaw.
You both want a key. Fine, but the only key that works is my life. Are you ready to watch me use it? You think I didn't know? Your altered DNA was always the plan, Vance. You'll interface, and I'll command the shade. He thinks he can control it. He'll watch me burn and call it victory, but I'll seal it with me inside. Then I'll give you what you want. Just let me initiate the sequence. Do it. Any trick, and I'll shoot your accomplice.
Eric's hands moved over the panel. The sequence he entered was not what Thorne expected. It was the sacrifice protocol. The crystal shuddered. The shade's multiple eyes fixed on Eric, and its psychic scream became a roar.
What are you doing? I ordered you to unlock it. I am not unlocking it. I am becoming the lock. You'll never use this thing again.
Black tendrils shot from the crystal, not to escape, but to consume the one threatening to seal them forever. The sacrifice had begun. Eric's body started to glow, his cells giving way to light, and the shade howled in rage. Rena, bleeding, dragged herself to a comm unit. Outside, the battle worsened, but Thorne's flagship was still firing.
I can still make a difference. One shuttle, one chance.
She limped through cracking corridors. Kale appeared, plasma blade ready, but a quake brought the ceiling down on him.
One less enemy to worry about.
She reached the shuttle. The controls flickered. She overrode the safeties, locking a collision course on Thorne's vessel.
For Eric. For every life Thorne was willing to burn.
Thorne saw the incoming blip on his wrist display. He raised a weapon, but a barrier of light from Eric's merging held him back. The shuttle struck Thorne's ship like a missile. Explosions rippled across its hull. The flagship broke apart, debris scattering into the void. Thorne was thrown, his escape pod destroyed. Eric's body became pure light. The shade screamed, but the seal was forming. Rena's fate remained unknown. Eric's consciousness tumbled into a void of clashing light and shadow. The shade coalesced before him, a storm of hungry eyes. A whisper oozed into his thoughts. Futile. I offer dominion. Let me out, and the galaxy will kneel at your feet.
Kneel. I never bowed. Not to Thorne, not to anyone. I certainly won't kneel to a caged nightmare.
Visions flooded him. Fleets burning at his command, crowds bowing, a throne built from conquered stars. The shade painted a lie of peace through tyranny.
I ran from power because I saw what it did to men. This is no different. Rena gave her life. Millions will follow if you break free. I will not let them down.
In that conviction, the seal crystallized. Crystalline chains of light formed around the shade's core. Pulling tighter, the shade thrashed, sending psychic screams that fractured the void. Darkness clawed at Eric's resolve.
No more cages for you. No more cages for us. This ends now.
The seal compressed further. But the war inside never ceased. Where Eric held, the Shade hammered one soul against an ancient hunger. The Shade dredged Eric's memories, projecting them into the void. The screams of the Hades battle, the faces of soldiers he left behind, visions of his court-martial, the betrayal of his crew, the years of hiding in lunar dust. The Shade hissed, "You were always a coward." Eric watched his younger self choose to run. But then he saw something he'd refused to see before. The reason he left was never just fear.
I ran because I knew if I stayed, I'd become like Thorn. I'd trade lives for power. My desertion was the first honest act of my life.
The Shade recoiled. The visions twisted, but Eric's voice rose, firm.
I've been searching for something worth dying for. Now I've found it.
The chains of light blazed, driving back the darkness. The Shade's form flickered, its shrieks less certain.
All those years of hiding, and the one thing I needed was a cause. I have it now. You can't break me.
Eric pushed forward, not with hate, but with the clarity of sacrifice. The seal tightened until the Shade's voice cracked. The psychic plane started to stabilize. The entity's hunger was no longer a roar, but a whimper. Eric stood, a fortress of light. The Allied fleet held, outnumbered. Rena, strapped to a medical cot, monitored the tactical display. A field dressing pressed to her side.
All ships form a defensive shell around the Nexus. Nothing gets through to that chamber.
The remaining loyalists obeyed instantly, forming a wall of steel and fire between the asteroid and the enemy. From the debris field, a detached escape pod emerged. Thorns, armed with a single last-chance torpedo.
You think a crash stops me? I'll blow that chamber and bury the secret with me.
The torpedo locked on the Nexus spire. A red indicator flashed on every Allied screen. But an Allied destroyer, battered yet defiant, swung into the flight path. The point defense bolt vaporized pod and torpedo together.
It's over. He's gone. Eric, just hold on a little longer.
The Nexus crystal pulsed brighter, a silent heartbeat that shook the vacuum. Eric's battle was reaching its crescendo. Silence fell over the battlefield. Every eye watched the obelisk, waiting to see which force would emerge victorious. Inside the psychic void, Eric gathered every remaining spark of will and surged forward. The seal snapped shut with a soundless detonation. The Shade's scream was swallowed by the lock. Its form collapsed into a pinprick of darkness, then nothing. Eric's physical body, still standing at the console, dissolved into a cascade of light. Every particle scattered into the crystal.
Eric, number, he's gone.
The Nexus spire dulled, its ferocious glow fading to a faint, steady pulse. The asteroid stopped shaking. Rena struggled to stand, pushing away the medics. She stared at the silent chamber on the screen.
He did it. He really did it. The traitor saved us all.
The Allied fleet received the all-clear. Victory was theirs, but the cost was a man they had branded a traitor. In the quiet that followed, Rena called his name into the comm. There was no answer, only the peaceful stars. The war was over. The galaxy was safe. And Eric Vance, the deserter who hid on Earth's quietest moon, was gone. The fleets powered down their weapons. Across the system, enemy ships turned silent, accepting the new reality. Rescue shuttles descended to the asteroid. Rena was carried from the wreckage, alive but fading, a medic pressing blood packs to her side in the crumbling corridors. Soldiers found Kale pinned under a fallen arch. He was dragged out, stripped of his blade, and cuffed.
You should have finished me when you had the chance.
Search teams scoured the debris for Thorn. Nothing but charred fragments. No body, no beacon. His fate remained a question mark. Eric's data stream continued to flow. Every colony, every ship, every station received the files. Thorn's experiments, the Nexus logs, the truth across the galaxy. Whispers ignited. Some celebrated the end of the threat. Others started questioning their own leaders.
He gave us the truth. Now we owe him a name that isn't traitor.
The Allied fleet stood down, but the battle for Eric's legacy had only just begun. In the silence, the Nexus spire stood as a testament, a tomb, and a warning. The galaxy had been saved by the man it once condemned. Weeks later, Rena stood before the Galactic Council. Still bandaged, she stepped to the podium, the weight of a galaxy on her shoulders.
Eric Vance was no traitor. He was the bravest man I ever met. Everything they said he did was a lie.
She presented the data chip and the Nexus logs. Every secret, every crime, every sacrifice. The evidence was irrefutable.
He gave his life to seal a horror Thorn almost unleashed. Millions owe him their existence. I'll testify to that until my last breath.
The council deliberated only briefly. The verdict was read aloud by the chief arbiter. Eric Vance is hereby posthumously cleared of all charges. He is to be recognized as Defender of the Galaxy, his name restored.
Finally, he's not a traitor anymore.
Admiral Thorn was tried in absentia, convicted of crimes against sentient life. Kale received a life sentence. The council also ordered a galactic memorial, a statue to be built on Earth, and a plaque on the quiet moon where the hunt began. As the council adjourned, the Nexus spire remained silent on its asteroid, a guardian of light in the dark. A towering statue of Eric Vance was unveiled on Earth. His likeness stood tall, looking outward, as if still watching over the galaxy.
We are here to honor a man we once condemned, a man who gave everything for a galaxy that hunted him. Eric Vance is no longer a fugitive. He is our defender. Let his name be spoken with pride, not shame.
In classrooms across the stars, children gathered around holograms of his story, their eyes wide with wonder. When the ceremony ended and the crowds dispersed, Rena remained alone before the statue.
I wish you could see this. Maybe you can.
She touched the cold stone of the base, then turned and walked into the falling dusk. Here, a deserter became a guardian. The quietest moon held its peace. Earth rose in its sky, a silent witness to the story that had changed everything.
Rest now, Eric. You've more than earned your peace.
A monitoring station near the Nexus picked up a faint, rhythmic signal. It was encrypted, not random. A technician called Rena. She listened, then put the audio through the speaker. It sounded like a heartbeat.
That can't be natural. It's too precise.
Scientists confirmed no equipment malfunction. The source was the Nexus crystal itself, pulsing in a pattern that defied physics.
It's him. He's still in there somehow, watching over us. I won't tell anyone. He deserves his rest, and we have our guardian.
The signal continued, a quiet pulse in the dark, as if one man's will had become a law of the universe.
Maybe someday we'll understand what you became. Until then, thank you.
No one else would know. The secret stayed with her, a small hope in a galaxy that still needed legends. The deserter who hid on Earth's quietest moon was not truly gone. He had become something more. Rena returned to the moon alone, descending to the crater where a fugitive had once been cornered by a fleet. A simple marker stood there now, a plaque bearing words she had fought to make true.
I brought you something, a piece of the crystal from the Nexus. It felt right to return a piece of you to where it started. He was never a coward. He just needed to find his reason. The galaxy knows your name now. Not as a traitor, but as its defender. I still hear you sometimes. In the silence of the Nexus signal, I hope you know.
She stood there for a long while, letting the stillness of the moon hold her. Then she turned and walked back to the shuttle. Her footsteps, the only sound in the quiet dust. The quietest moon held its peace. Earth rose in its sky, a silent witness to the story that had changed everything. And somewhere in the deep black, a faint pulse answered, eternal. The long war was over. The galaxy began to heal. Across the galaxy, planets rebuilt their cities, fleets powered down their weapons, and the story of one man's sacrifice became legend among the stars. Deep within the Nexus asteroid, in a chamber that had once held a nightmare, a soft light pulsed steadily. It was no longer a prison of rage, but a sanctuary of grace. Eric Vance's consciousness, merged with the crystal, had become the eternal seal. The shade was silenced forever, and the lock would hold until the stars burned out. It watched over the galaxy, a silent guardian in the dark. Some called it science, others a miracle. But all who felt it knew it was a final gift of love. He hid from the galaxy, but in the end, he saved it, and on the quiet moon where it all began, the simple plaque endured. Here, a deserter became a guardian. Then, the stars dimmed, and the screen faded to black.